She may never say it openly, but every woman carries a hidden point within her, a quiet space where her emotions, instincts, and desires intersect. And when the right man touches that place, not with tricks, not with mind games, but with presence, confidence, and depth, her entire perception shifts, her defenses soften, her certainty melts, and without even realizing why, she starts gravitating toward him. Machiavelli once said, "The one who shapes perception holds the power." And that's exactly what most men never learn. This isn't magic. This isn't coincidence. This is awareness, a strategic understanding of how attraction truly works beneath the surface. Because inside every woman exists a silent trigger, a subtle emotional switch that reacts the moment a man arrives with the right mix of purpose, mystery, and grounded masculinity. It has nothing to do with looks, wealth, or memorized lines. It's about understanding the emotional architecture of the feminine, the same way Machiavelli understood the deep structure of human nature itself. Once you understand this, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. Once you grasp this mechanism, seduction starts to feel almost unfair because everything flows so naturally, so precisely, that she believes it was her idea, and in a way it was. You simply guided the choice. That is how the game begins. Subtle, silent, calculated, yet always elegant. The first thing you must understand is this. Women are not attracted to the obvious. The obvious is predictable, and the predictable is boring. What awakens a woman's interest is the feeling that she is standing in front of a man who sees more, knows more, and rushes less. Machiavelli warned that the hurried man loses power because his urgency exposes his dependence on approval. So you never show hunger. You never show desperation. You never show need. You carry yourself as if you already possess what you want. And that is when she begins to wonder what your secret is. Seduction that feels too easy seems almost illegal because it disarms a woman's defenses before she can even build a wall. This does not happen through magic words, but through micro-gestures, the gaze that lingers 1 second longer. The almost invisible smile at the corner of your mouth, the calmness of a man unafraid of silence. Women sense all of this with a sensitivity most men never notice. She picks up your posture. She notices the rhythm of your breathing. She detects the tranquility with which you occupy space. It is not your words that seduce her. It is your presence. The mistake of ordinary men is trying to compensate for insecurity with excess. They talk too much. They explain too much. They compliment too much. And excess exposes a lack of value. Machiavelli would teach that when you reveal too much, you lose the mystery. And mystery is the beating heart of seduction. What is hard to decipher becomes impossible to ignore. You do not give her your whole story. You offer scattered chapters, half-open sentences, calculated hints. She fills the rest with her imagination. And her imagination works in your favor long before you ever touch her. But seducing a woman with this level of ease is not about treating the process like an intellectual contest. It is guiding her like someone holding a delicate flame, firm enough not to let it die, gentle enough not to crush it. The Machiavellian secret is making everything look spontaneous. You plant small seeds, you let them grow in silence, and when she finally realizes what is happening, she is already deeply invested. Not because you pushed, but because you created the emotional conditions for her to walk that path on her own. Everything begins with your energy. Energy is not mysticism, it is behavioral reading. If you arrive tense, she becomes tense. If you arrive insecure, she closes up. But if you arrive with the quiet firmness of a man who has nothing to prove, her entire internal world reorganizes itself to try to understand you. That curiosity is the first step of Machiavellian seduction. And once you awaken the right curiosity, the rest unfolds almost automatically. She starts observing you more than she observes others. She listens to your words with unusual attention. She imagines things without realizing she is imagining them. Seduction happens inside her, not inside you. Women are highly sensitive to perceived value, not displayed value. Displayed value feels fake. Perceived value feels natural. You show value in the way you handle the unexpected, in the way you do not seek approval, in the way you speak slowly, in the way you remain composed when other men would fall apart. Every detail multiplies the impact of your presence. She cannot explain exactly why she feels something different, but she feels it, and that is enough. It is in this space between the conscious and the unconscious that seduction begins to feel almost illegal. Not because you manipulate, but because you operate on a level most people never notice. You touch internal points that lie above language, and before she realizes it, she is already giving signals, playing with her hair, adjusting her posture, glancing at you at regular intervals, asking questions that seem trivial but carry intention. She begins to want your attention, and there is no greater power than that. When she senses that you control the rhythm, she willingly moves to your tempo. But you maintain the lightness, the charm, the calmness of a man who could walk away at any moment. And because you could walk away, she wants you to stay. The human mind values what it believes it can lose. Machiavelli knew women know it too. And now you learn to turn this into a silent art. Machiavellian seduction continues exactly where ordinary men give up in the subtlety. This is where you realize that women do not fall for brute intensity, but for slow layers, almost invisible layers that stack themselves inside her without her noticing. The secret is not to impress her. It is to replace the idea she has of you with the idea you want her to have. And you build that with small impacts so natural that she cannot even categorize them as strategy. The first layer is emotional. You become a breath of air. Everyone demands something from her. Family, work, friends, social media, but not you. You become the space where she can relax, where she does not have to pretend, where she does not have to compete. Your energy says, I am not here to fight you, I am here to see you. And that sensation disarms any woman. The power lies in not wanting anything immediately while making it clear that you are present by choice, not by loneliness. The second layer is controlled unpredictability. This does not mean disappearing. It does not mean being cold. It means being slightly less available than she expects, yet more present than other men are capable of being. A calculated balance. You answer when you choose, but when you answer, it is memorable. You do not vanish out of ego. You simply have a life. And the moment she notices that, she adjusts to your rhythm. Your time becomes valuable to her because you do not hand it out for free. Men who throw themselves at her too quickly make her lose interest just as quickly. What comes too easy feels cheap. Machiavelli would say the power lies in the uncertainty of the other side. She must feel she can win you, but not immediately. Seduction is a game of stimulation and restraint. You show a little, pull back a little, provoke a little, stay silent a little. Every action leaves small footprints that she follows without realizing it. The third layer is selective attention. You do not compliment everything. You do not validate everything. You choose the right moments. And when you choose, the impact doubles. Women know the difference between an automatic compliment and an intentional one. Automatic sounds generic. Intentional hits the emotional system. Saying you look beautiful is ordinary. Saying the way you adjust your hair when you're thinking is fascinating touches something deeper because it reveals that you notice. Being truly seen is rare and dangerously addictive. The fourth layer is emotional control. She will test you always. It is instinctive. She provokes, pokes, teases, creates little challenges, not to disrespect you, but to understand your internal structure. She wants to know if you're steady, if you have self-control, if you don't crumble over small things. If you react with irritation, you lose. If you react with neediness, you lose. But if you answer with humor, with calmness, with elegant detachment, you gain more emotional ground than any rehearsed line could ever give you. The illegal seduction begins in the tranquility you maintain while every other man loses control. And then comes the fifth layer, physical presence without urgency. It is not touching too soon. It is not rushing into impulsive kisses. It is letting your body language enter her space slowly. The closeness of your face when you lower your voice, the light touch on her forearm, the gaze that drops and returns, not like a predator, but like someone who appreciates what he sees. Women interpret these details in amplified resolution. It is not the touch itself, it is the intention behind it. When the intention is mature, calm, grounded, she feels it. She senses herself becoming more interested than she originally planned. This is the moment seduction begins to feel illegal because you did not take anything from her. You did not force anything. You did not conquer her directly. You simply created a space where she allowed herself to feel something. And when a woman allows herself to feel, the entire game shifts. Now she starts thinking about you during the day. She remembers the things you said. She looks for signs of you without admitting it. She checks if you saw the picture she posted. She becomes more open to conversations she would normally ignore. And most importantly, she begins testing you more frequently. That is the clearest sign that you are already affecting her. Tests are good. Tests mean impact. She only tests what she fears losing. So when the provocations come, you do not confront. You do not complain. You do not dramatize. You smile. You flip the frame. You lead. And through that, she understands something rare. You are not just confident. You are comfortable inside your own energy. That combination is almost extinct. She starts realizing that your calm company soothes her, your attention excites her, your absence bothers her, your presence marks her, and that you see beyond her surface. And no one resists for long being seen that deeply. Seduction happens when she realizes you can touch emotional parts other men overlook, and you do it without rushing, without pushing, just by existing like a man who controls his own axis. And when she senses this, when she feels she is losing control over her interest, she tries to hide it, tries to rationalize it, tries to pretend she is not involved. But her body betrays her voice betrays her eyes betray her. And this is the point where Machiavellian seduction becomes inevitable. The desire is already planted. You simply wait for it to bloom.